somebody on one side, you don't go back and hit them on the other side to see how they're going to fall. You can sit down. You can tap them lightly. Bruce, let me do it on you. However, you shouldn't do this. Again, I've been doing this a long time, and I have a feel. But when you catch somebody with a ridge hand right here, up this way, and you tap somebody up on this point, down this way, those 2 points match up. How many katas do you have to do this? How many katas do you have that do cross hands? That cross hands, or the hands cross to come out. I have a kata that the hands do this and cross, called seisan. Some call it hangetsu. And one person told me that I'm blocking your kick, that you're kicking, and that I'm blocking his punch. The technique really is not that. The technique is taking his arm down and catching him with a ridge hand right upside the jaw on a pressure point that's right there. But the more advanced portion of that technique is just performed on the head here. And the next technique is like this. Because if this technique, for any reason, only dizzied him, then you are to grab the head pressure points and actually whiplash the neck. You do not have to break the neck as such, but any quick jerk, if I tap this person, any quick jerk, and then quick whiplash the head. Remember I showed you the head pressure points today and how to control or move the head? Well, if you dizzy somebody and just grab his head and whip it. So that's what that means in a kata. That's what that means. My instructor told me this hand's blocking, grabbing the man's arm and pulling it. And I'm blocking his kick. Why would I want to do that in a fight? The technique just comes like this. Don't play with that because I did crisscross the head. Here, guys, stand up quick. I'm feeling great now. Yeah. You hit somebody in the ribs. You hit somebody in the ribs. This is gallbladder up here. It's a gallbladder point. You have a gallbladder warning point here. If I hit somebody in the ribs, how many moves in katas go like that? Okay? I'll separate the two. I can't do them both at the same time because the pain meets in the middle. But if I zip the ribs or hit his ribs, all I have to do is hit him up there and the fight's over. Across the leg. How many people here have a move like this in their kata? Huh? How many people? How many people put their hands in their hips in their kata? You know, I go out everywhere. People do not have an explanation for that. Isn't it better to have an explanation? Yes, sir. It's better to have an explanation. It's better to know in your mind while you're doing the move. One of the places that you're weak is behind the jaw. Stand up here quick. Behind the jaw, but back to front. Keep your teeth together. This way. Feel that? Electrical charge will put the person out with just this technique. The arm sets it up. Ed, come on. All right.
Lights out time.
Make a fist of me. No. I'm just going to show you a connection with that because you do your hands on your hips. And people do not know why. All over, everybody at a tournament. I was showing you a technique today that involved a fist in your face. Right? I have a kata that goes like this. And steps out to the left and goes like that. Got that? In other words, I have a kata called kinken, golden fist. It opens up with that, that, that. That is the counter if that is not working. You remember early on I told you that if this doesn't work, that will. If that doesn't work, this will. Kata has those counters built within the kata. The movement in the kata shows the way I have to move to transfer the energy into my opponent. I cannot move any other way. The kata opens up with this, 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 this. When I was taught that kata, I was taught that this was hiding my secret weapons. It meant nothing. And I was taught that this is getting ready to start the kata. You understand? This is what people will tell you. Who is going to get ready to fight somebody by putting their hands on their hips and doing that? I showed you today that if a person makes a fist in your face, and you were doing this, that you can put him down. You were practicing that. I showed you on a separate individual, behind the jaw back to front puts him out. But behind the jaw back to front gets activated when you're on the wrist torquing and pushing on this. And if you are doing a technique, there is always a follow-up. And really, the hands on the hip in the kata is me putting my opponent down, but I, for some reason, cannot do it to him. He's strong. He's got rubber nerves. Whatever. We get in the middle of the position. I am to pull this hand towards this hip. And I try to put him down. You resist. I try to resist. I can't get him down. I have to pull to this hip and hit him. Oh! Set him up. Move over this way. Move over here. Move over. Yep. No, you let me do that. Now he wanted to learn what that move was for in the kata. So I told him that if I do it on you, now tonight I'm going to show him exactly what I did. And I'm going to teach him how to do that to somebody else. To learn some of the techniques that get done on you. Then you know the feeling before you go do them to somebody else. You all right? That technique was developed by one of my black belts. A man named Ron Richards, who's on my earlier tapes. He developed that, I didn't. Everybody in my organization has been researching. I had a man that's works my pressure points in Newark, Delaware. Jim Clapp. We were sitting in a place the other night, and he showed me a knockout he developed on his own. I teach the theory. A lot of my black belts and the people studying this have different ways to put somebody out. And when you do it and show me, they usually get to do it on me. If you ask my wife when this is finished, she developed a knockout right in my house, was working. I said, before we do that anywhere else, I want you to do that on me. I want to feel it. And she did, and I went out. And then we had a man there from New Zealand. We were doing research at that time, named Ian Waite. And she did it on Ian Waite, who was about 6'3". He passed out. She developed a technique out of a kata called San Chin that does this. Just coming here. Come up here. I'm really getting going now. She has a kata move that comes here. She has a kata move that comes here and steps back and does that. And you're really to be hitting the arms and activating the arms, and the punch comes in. You're to hit these arms, activate, and catch the head on the gallbladder point, and use your palm on the heart point in the back. Both like this, as done in the kata. No different than in the kata. but it's going out now. It's like rain.